Hey everybody, Gary with Basecamp Trading. Let's take a look at some Unirenko setups we had in gold today. Gold initially was in a downtrend, making lower highs and lower lows. This is our 30-minute chart. Of course, this is our anchored chart. And really, overall, this chart's pretty bearish. So 50's under the 200, 5 and 13 were in a sell. And then in the U.S. session, things kind of turned around. We ended up getting a pretty bullish bar right here off the bottom. This opened at the bottom, closed near the top, left a little wick, but fairly bullish bar. This one opened, pushed down. Buyers stepped in again. The whole body of this bar was buying, left a little wick right there. Then this bar, this was actually a little bit of a bearish bar. Opened right here, closed down here. But then it was followed up by yet another really bullish bar. Opened at the bottom, closed very near the top, and caused the 5 and the 13 EMA to cross to the upside. Then we consolidated a little bit, set up this continuation doji. And then this continuation doji triggered to the upside above 1697.90. And then this was a really bullish bar. Opened at the bottom, closed very near the top, closed above a significant resistance area, the 50 EMA on the 30-minute chart. We know price really respects that EMA. So closing above that was significant. Then followed by some pretty bullish bars after that. Got extended, hit significantly overvalued, and we kind of went sideways. But some really nice movement off of this continuation doji right here after things kind of turned around. And again, we really, for the most part, unless we just really get a solid hammer or a solid shooting star or a really strong reversal doji, something that, leads us to believe that the market is changing direction, typically aren't looking to take long trades until the 5 and the 13 are in the right direction. 5 and 13 are crossed to the downside. We're primarily looking for short trades. When they cross to the upside, that's when we're primarily looking for long trades. So once we got this doji, we had the 5 and the 13 crossed to the upside. We knew that if that triggered to the upside, then that was going to be a continuation doji up. If it triggered to the downside, well, that probably would have caused the 5 and 13 to cross back to the downside, and we would have changed the direction we were looking at. But our setup was off of this continuation doji right here, and then we got a nice strong move up. And again, when we get triggers off our 30-minute chart, we go to the Unirenko chart, because this is definitely one of our primary trading charts. And we look to take our setups and manage our trades off of this chart. And then right in here is where we kind of had that push up, and then we pulled back in that doji. And then that doji actually triggered above this previous pivot high, which happened to coincide with this down, up pattern. And we pay close attention to these types of patterns because this is telling you something. Yeah? Now, this initial wick out of the cloud wasn't a bad setup because we had broke the cloud, pulled back into the cloud, wicked out of it. All the moving averages were in alignment. Problem was we didn't really have momentum. Momentum was still, down here in the negative territory. It finally did cross to the upside, and then we got this little bit of consolidation where that doji was taking place. And again, this is telling you something. The buyers were pushing this up. Sellers stepped in, pushed this bar down. Buyers stepped back in, pushed it up. Sellers stepped back in again, said no, pushed it down. And then once again, the buyer said no, we're going up. So, and this bar closed to the upside, and then the next bar closed up. The buyers are now in control. So we had a battle going on between the buyers and the sellers here. The sellers ended up losing the battle twice. And so the buyers finally took over the market, and they made a nice push up. Each one of these bars is 4 ticks to the upside. We triggered that continuation doji on the 30-minute chart, so we had strong confirmation off the 30-minute chart. Now all the moving averages are in alignment. Momentum is in our favor right here, and we get a really nice push to the upside right here. Got this little bit of pullback, 1 bar pullback. That's not enough to take us out of the trade. And then we pushed up higher. Now we formed negative divergence right here. We had a higher high in price and a lower high in momentum. So this is where we start looking to take profits. And by the time we actually got up into here, we were actually able to lock in 100 ticks. There are $1,000 per contract on this trade. So nice push to the upside off a continuation doji, off the 30-minute chart. Nice Unirenko setup. And got a nice trade out of that. And then we got the pullback. We expected that. Negative divergence, got a little pullback, made a nice momentum reset, pulled all the way back. Fast line made a slow line, or made a zero touch. The fast line made a zero touch. The zero line is the line that the histograms move above and below. Fast line pulled back into the zero line territory. Gave us our fast line zero touch signal right there, the magenta arrow, and another nice continuation trade. We had a wick off the 34. The yellow line is our 34. The red line's 18. All moving averages are still in alignment, above the cloud, above the smooth 50. Nice momentum reset. So a perfect continuation trade. We're still bullish on the 30-minute chart, and this was a good entry, and we were able to take this entry, and we were able to actually lock in 50 ticks on this particular trade, so another $500 per contract on this trade. And again, a nice Unirenko setup. We had our wick bar right off the 34 and the 18, got a nice push up, little pullback. Trender Pro gave us a Trender Pro 2.0 entry signal. So this was nice confirmation at this point to go ahead and stick with our trade. We pushed up a little further, and like I said, we were able to lock in 50 ticks. At this point, we were extended, touching significantly overvalued on our 30-minute chart. We know when that happens, that we're looking for consolidation, potentially a pullback. But again, another nice Unirenko setup. Off the 34, we had our nice Unirenko down, up pattern, and these are really strong entry patterns. If you get an up, down, up, and then the buyers take over the market, that's a real strong pattern. Or if in the opposite direction you get a down, up, down, and the sellers take over the market, those are strong patterns. And this was a really strong upside confirmation pattern right there. So again, we got some pretty nice Unirenko trades in gold today.